Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2, where I'm always excited to introduce to you the Terran player in the blue, the rank 1 Terran in the world, the Frenchman from Team Liquid. It is the Creme de la Clem. On the other side, the only Protoss who can really compete with him, the rank 1 Protoss in the world, a top-tier matchup featuring the Twilight Toss, the mysterious MaxPax. It's another day that ends in Y. Yes, a best of 5 TVP ESL EU Cup Finals, where these two just go back and forth to show us the very best of Terran versus Protoss. Clem's win rate is over 80% recently in Terran versus Protoss. MaxPax is at 70% Protoss versus Terran. By far, at this point, the best in this matchup and overall. They keep just pushing each other to greater and greater heights and higher level aggression, which we already see. This strategy, Mass Reaper, you can't just go Reapers in every matchup. That's just far too aggressive. Just like begging for likes and subscribes right at the beginning of the video. Well, it's not the beginning. We're like a full minute in, but thank you for tuning in. Hopefully, Jimmy, what are we? 1,203 likes on this video, on this cast, on this further evidence for nerfing Reapers yet again. If we get 1,203 likes, one more than yesterday, I'll cast another series. Statistically likely to be at least one of these two players, if not both. But hopefully you've had a good day so far, and hopefully it's about to get a little bit better. And, yeah, well, Clem's decided that the Young gets credit for the Reaper nerfs twice. He wants to try his hand at it. Maybe both hands. As comes in and already killed 2 Adepts and a Probe. It's just working. Like, just micro, bro. Like, Oracle. Well, Oracle Reapers can't... The jetpacks don't fly quite high enough, so... There is a shield battery, but the Oracle comes out. It will repel the Reapers. The downside of this is he had to use the energy on the Oracle early on. So now... 1, it's been scouted, obviously. 2, it has a lot less utility for killing SCVs. Did Clem delay his expansion significantly for this? Not particularly. He just has 3 ranks behind. He's going to be forced to just build Marine. Okay. I don't think that's gonna put him out too far. Energy already gone on the Oracle. Gets 1 SCV, delays a single turret. The fact that Clem's building turrets already means to me that I think he just wants to go with Stim and Combat Shield. He doesn't have +1 on the way yet. It's going to be blank from MaxPax. He started with the Stargate, but is shifting quickly into something with a bit more ground-based utility. Alrighty, the Reapers headed in. Yet again, he only lost, well, he's lost 3 in total with the Oracle there. Built 5, which it feels like you should be able to just get away with, but when Clem does it, yeah, it looks like a genius move, of course. Don't try this at home. Double medevac. Going into the 3 racks, you're very... stock standard sort of early mid-game here. We've just taken a bit of an odd path to get there. Now the question will be, does MaxPax have enough production? He took a third Blink? Blink is not done. He can't chase down those Reapers quite yet. MaxPax has 3 gates, which the Oracles will hunt down and kill the Reapers. A small win there. 3 gates is on the low side of things, especially considering that he's up against massive bio with some medevacs. Well, the medevac's about to come out. Blink is done. +1 infantry weapons is still pretty far off. Clem a little later on the upgrades himself. So, going to try to juggle here. If he can take down the Marauders especially, that'd be a big win. But so far, MaxPax has kept all his Stalkers with full HP, just juggling away the shields. Gets a medevac of Marines out before the Oracle can come in for a retag. Does MaxPax realize that there are significantly less units than there were before? Medevac headed to the north. Not quite sure. MaxPax is scrambling back here, but The Marines are already dropping into the natural. MaxPax has 5 gateways, but they're not done yet. Shield battery overcharged. Beautiful shield battery placement there. Gonna help out a lot. But Clem, trying to keep him busy. Now coming in towards the third. Another shield battery in position. MaxPax has a beautiful blink micro so far, but into the main. The Marines have found an opportunity, just targeting through the shield battery. Getting some of the probes. Energy is gone already. And ends up getting 8 probes for the medevac. So, well, MaxPax defended strongly on both sides. And oh no, the Oracle! Oh. That was kind of an important one not to lose. Gonna try to use that last revelation here. MaxPax, the choke point working against Clem for a few more moments at least. Until that vision runs out. Oh, actually, this is a terrible fight for Clem. He's just losing everything. What are you doing? What are we doing here? Come on, Clem! I was like, no, Marauders are basic units. It's like, wait, yeah, but... Wow, that was actually really terrible. Jimmy! Oh, yeah, let's watch it again. I thought we were going to bring up the battle report, but instead we're going to... It appears we don't have the battle report set up. And the same hotkey brings us back in time, but... So, MaxPax has not lost a Stalker, and I don't think he does during this. So, he lost nothing. He lost a little bit of HP. This is actually near perfect blink micro. He's gonna chase some more. Oh my god. Well, Clem, overstaying is welcome and then some there. And now +1 attack is done. Blinks for a single Stalker. First loss here. Well, here come the rest of the units. Charge lot's on the way, but already a significant amount. Armory is done. There's no detection. Might be the saving grace. And retargeting, recalculating. He's trying to force... So Clem is retargeting the Widow Mine in order to keep him busy. Oh no, there's a Widow Mine at the natural. Clem has kept MaxPax at bay. The Widow Mines making things incredibly difficult. A little bit of Prairie Dog micro there as well. And the Widow Mines themselves just keeping him so busy that MaxPax unable to press what may have been a decisive advantage. Gonna have to repair this orbital. A lot of damage being dealt. Well, he's gotta be careful. He's repairing. Clem having a tough time. Losing that orbital is particularly bad. Now Clem almost all in here, but is there any detection back at home? Have the Widow Mines been cleaned up? Indeed they have. 11 SCVs down. MaxPax scrambling back. He just needs to hold the line. More Widow Mines. Seem like they got some hits there. The Blink Stalker micro has been near perfect, though maybe a weird time to mention it. Clem still has the army. Another Widow Mine retargeting. Clem keeps retargeting to keep it from locking on and making it almost impossible for MaxPax to do that blink micro. Because he's waiting to blink out of the mine shot, but... Well, charge lots can't blink. Single medevac. Not sure why. That might have been the leftover from the mine drop. Charge lot warping at the back. Going to sneak in towards the natural, but those mines are recharged. Another one gonna burrow. Good positioning here. He softened up the zealots. And this attack not going to find a lot of success. Clem still holding his ground on the field. Draws shots back. Actually takes out the mine, does MaxPax. But are there enough Stalkers left over? The sentry getting chased down. A ghost is out here. Going to clean up the zealot. And Clem, his army's thinning out. Down 15 workers and that orbital command. And now there's a warp prism in the main. MaxPax might have been stalled out on the attack, but he's maintained enough economy. And he's got 9 gates now. So with this many charged lots into the main, Clem's going to have a tough time maintaining the attack while also defending his base at all. The Widow Mines end up hitting the SCVs just as hard. At point-blank range, and MaxPax, well, Clem's army still somehow manages to be large enough here. He's rebuilt another command center. EMP. Scan to the high ground, but EMP before the Guardian Shield could be used, which means the ground army is quite mediocre. Targets down the Immortal. But the medevacs, there's a medevacs for all policy here. As indeed there are more medevacs than there are units to heal. The third command center forced to lift, but MaxPax still struggling to draw anywhere close to even an army supply, and that is the continuing issue. Clem is down to 30 SCVs. MaxPax just needs to win one big fight, but Clem won't let him have it. EMP picks up, gets out, and everything was recalled. Oh no! It's a bit disastrous here. He's gonna have to blink down, I think. Is there shield battery overcharge? No, it's still on cooldown. Bit of an awkward scenario, but Clem will juggle back into the medevacs. The blink stalkers may chase over the top of the mineral wall in a scan to the north side. As Clem realizes he's been focusing on this base for so long, but at the end of the day, MaxPax has enough economy to fall back to. I believe there was a dark shrine. Indeed. There's only 2 orbitals going on 3. A single DT. The lack of detection. MaxPax is starting to consolidate a significant supply lead now. He's almost drawn even on army supply. MaxPax actually canceled +3 attack in favor of +1 armor. Just focused on getting as much in front as possible. EMP hits the Colossus and a dozen zealots. Wow, that's a decent amount of value. Even the Observer hit by it as well. But the Widow Mines will clean up what the Ghost started. Another EMP. Is there a shield battery? No here. Guardian shield is used, but the Nexus under attack. Clem's army. Just so hard to beat here. And again, split stims. The Marauders getting some good hits. Try not to run into the charge lots too far. There's something happening at the third. The orbital is almost dead. Clem down to 25 SCVs. But he's still not dead. Oh, this might do it. Finally, his units go the wrong way for a split second. The quest rests upon the edge of a knife. And he went on the wrong side of the knife, and on that side of the knife were Colossi and some Blink Stalkers. MaxPax with some immaculate Stalker micro early, but Clem refuses to go down. And that means game 1 will go to the Twilight Toss. Tough one. Clem does so much with so little. In the few streams he's done, which I don't blame him for focusing on this, but the amount he's able to do so quickly, just splitting a Marauder here or there to draw fire from a Colossus, microing back, like the continued micro on the Widow Mines, it feels weird to say, but it's a huge part of why he was able to even defend against MaxPax, against that Blink Stalker counterattack. I don't know why he was fighting in the middle of the map. That was terrible. But otherwise, really interesting micro there. To be able to just stay alive against the Protoss aggression. But at the end of the day, you have no fallback. When you lose everything but a couple dozen SCVs, you can't ever lose a fight again. And eventually, MaxPax found the angle. Gonna be double gas on Equilibrium. Can't get over how good MaxPax's Blink Stalker micro is. The problem is, at the end of the day, oh my god. He's rushing the gold. It's a gold rush here on Equilibrium against a double gas from Clem. I have no idea how this plays out. I'm very interested, though, and excited. I'll talk more about my feelings later, but first, Clem, he does pull off a gas, so this isn't going to be some sort of, like, super tech-heavy build. It's just to get your factory out as quickly as possible, and then that unlocks, obviously, the rest of the options. Shield battery. So, the first scout for Clem is going to be the Reaper, which is not particularly early. We'll see if he finds the gold. That's a pretty suspicious probe, bro. Now, would it have hidden it? If he didn't send that probe, probably not. Clem will figure it out pretty quick. But that probe is certainly a recall of enough probes to fully saturate the base as well. So, MaxPax working off a pretty solid economic lead to start things. I mean, he has 2 bases. Once again, Clem is just breaking out the TVT builds. Reaper, Hellion, oh my god. Just perfect micro, of course. You gotta be careful not to over-defend, otherwise it kind of negates the value of having that gold base at all. Wow. Not sure. There's a probe with gold minerals and a probe with blue minerals here in the main. I'm not sure how that happened. Well, it's obvious how it happened. I'm not sure why the gold probe is in the main now, but... Do 2 Reapers and a Hellion beat a Stalker? Not if the Oracle glides in. Oh, come on. Would you dial? Clem just smoothly splits all the units off. He unlit the Oracle. Just turned it off there. Now this is a bit awkward. There should be enough to actually target through the shield battery if he doesn't overcharge. Even if he does overcharge. Because the damage in each valley can just target down probes. Well, it isn't... he's lost 4 probes. Clem has no respect for this shield battery. He laughs in the face of it while shooting down probes. Like, it doesn't matter if you overcharge if the damage is done in a single volley. There's a cyclone! A cyclone drop! 3 more gates are on the way. There's only 1 gate and 1 Stargate now. MaxPax has taken a 3rd Nexus. The Cyclone, there is no shield battery overcharge. Cyclone drops out, knocks onto the Stalker, which will drain that battery energy quite quickly. Probes pulled. And the Oracle. Well, this is getting a bit awkward to say the least. Trying to micro away, but the Cyclone chasing it. A bit of energy from the shield battery manages to maintain it. Alright, will they, won't they? Back and forth. The dance of death. The Cyclone casually locking on. Wow, meanwhile, another army. Cyclone's just trickling in here. But finally, MaxPax gets more gates online. He's got 4 gates up now, and he has that gold. He's been maintaining a pretty decent economy, despite the probe losses. And the gold base doesn't... Wait, okay, now we got some SCVs coming across. Everybody wants in on this. Alright. The diplomatic envoy is on its way across the map. Clem. Oh, he's like, oh, we've all done it. So he is human. I'm not sure if he was sending those out to repair or if it's just a misrally. I think at this point, just for Clem's sake, we'll say he was totally sending him to repair the Cyclones. Just misclicked a bit. Templar Archives. All right. And a robo with charge. Oracle could be used to blink into the main. Instead he's just going to curve those shots over the high ground. Blunks in on the Marauder. Gets the Oracle involved as well. The Viking going to try to zone out. MaxPax was optimistic. He should be able to get a few of them out. Was it worth it? I don't know. Trying to cut down on the critical mass of bio units before the first timing was Stim and Combat Shield and +1. Which, a laudable goal, but if you lose too many Stalkers, that's going to free up the air for Clem to just send the medevacs out wherever he wants. But Psy Storm. Jim... Psionic Storm is on the way, and if there's one thing Clem is unlikely to have at this stage, it's going to be Ghosts. He had a later second base. He's been focused on the aggression. MaxPax is in prime position, and here comes the Prism. The Storm Prism. To hold on to those Templar until they get into position. A very expensive and fragile tactic, but a potentially deadly one. And I don't think Clem is going to expect the Storm. It's got to be chrono boosted. It's still 20 seconds out. Clem is marching. The Templar into the Prism. They are everything right now. Oh, but I think he has every opportunity to make it work. This is so early for Storm. Takes out a... And... Now, these Winterstalkers have been beautiful. MaxPax has gotten so good at that blink control. Just in general, much like Clem. These two sharpening each other's swords, which sounds weirdly inappropriate, but the amount they practice against each other, intentionally or otherwise, they're both so much better than they were, and it's starting to become embarrassing for everyone else. But they're not here. And the storms are, though. The Whittle Mines are drawn out. That first storm, devastating. Clem has to know there are more. The storm is big, but can he actually follow that up in time? More Whittle Mines. Spotted. I'm gonna send a couple zealots out. The gold base has helped out so much, but MaxPax starting to mine out of it. Clem's army supply is massive yet again. The Ghost Academy just started. There's a lot of free reign. A couple chew toy depots there, serving their purpose of keeping the zealots distracted for long enough to get into position. The mini-map just became quite a mess, as units heading every which way. All the zealots are heading towards the right side. A quadruple drop. One of the medevacs gets taken down. It was actually 5 of them, but Whittle Mines and the gold base under fire. MaxPax will be taking damage here, and he didn't shut down the drop. 10 probes dead, which brings Clem a lot closer to even. Well, the drop actually just headed out. Oh no, the medevacs took the wrong path. He lost 2 of the medevacs in the storm. In another storm. MaxPax, a house of horrors, and Clem runs right through, eats all of it. MaxPax has dismantled the drop, defended the attack, and executed a counter at the same time. The zealots will be cleaned up, but MaxPax has retaken control of the situation and now has gone to match point. Wow. He makes the storm work. He holds on to the gold, and with it, MaxPax with a dominant and decisive performance. The storm was the right call. I feel like a lot of the time, it just doesn't fit. All right, it just doesn't get there before Ghosts or really at a meaningful timing. But the storm, a bit of a gamble, pays off. Oh, beautiful micro from MaxPax. Clem just caught off guard. Almost made it work with a single cyclone drop, but going into game 3, some beautiful play out of MaxPax. Some of the best. I mean, like I said, pushing both these players to new limits. This is why it looks so unfair when Clem plays against anyone else. MaxPax gets not too many opportunities to play against other Terrans, because the list of other Terrans he even can find in these tournaments is quite small, but Clem, the only player he loses to regularly, Protoss player, is MaxPax. We don't see Clem versus Hero very often because of the server gap, but I think you can see why. Alright, the probe dancing. Most annoying creature besides Clem's Reapers. The shield battery placements as well. We've kind of gone back and forth on whether or not we're building shield batteries in the mineral mines. What I mean is you block a little bit of your own mining, but it appears we're back to building the batteries yet again. Honestly, it kind of feels like it's one of those things that isn't so much balance patch dependent as meta and maybe map dependent. So is it currently we're doing Reaper walls, or are we doing a shield battery in the main? MaxPax, I'm proud to say, I'm not a big fan of Reaper walls at all. I feel like they're more of a liability than they are a benefit the majority of the time. But, and just playing a nice solid defensive style. Looks like he's going blink straight up this time around, as opposed to opting for the Stargate. While the early Oracle has not been a decisive factor, in the last couple games. It certainly helped with the Blink Stalkers afterwards. Wow, that's... Zealot shows up, gets gunned down from every side. There's something just... It was a bit mean, to be honest. It's perfect micro. Something that would have been considered highlight reel worthy in like 2012 is just normal early game for MaxPax versus Clem every single game. Imagine showing people the Reaper microing with the Nexus against an Adept. In Wings of Liberty. Well, one, the Adept existing, right? But that sort of micro, which has become almost commonplace. Just mind-blowing. And remember, in Wings of Liberty, MaxPax was like, well, the game was rated T for teen, so I assume he couldn't play because that's illegal. MaxPax is 19 years old. Assuming he's not dark on another computer, which is not 100% confirmed, so just saying. Well, Adept shade into the natural. He's feigning... Wait, did the Reaper get in? Oh, he sees the robo timing.
I'm here in the shadows.
Hellion gets in, sees the robo timing. I think at this point the blink has been given away. The Adepts usually indicate that it's going to be... a Stargate. But this time around, he goes for the Adepts and then follows with Blink. But I think Clem, with the... wow, I'm struggling for the words. With the Hellion getting in, we'll see the Robo-timing and the Stalkers and realize, indeed, it isn't Stargate. And for the first time, just a straight-up Widow Mine drop here. No respect for the Stalkers. Gonna get a sacrifice or two. Yep. Taken out. No armory. The War Prism was spotted. The medevac gets out. Probably the best case scenario there for Clem, considering MaxPax was already ready to go. Gets 2 probes, bit of mining time lost, and gets the medevac out. So, not a huge investment there. This does open up an opportunity for counterattack. MaxPax on the way across. There's no stim even on the way, let alone out. A bunker, tanks, a bit off-center on that first one. MaxPax blinks over to the side. Auto turret getting involved. Targets down an SCV building the bunker. MaxPax also in the main base, starting to take out some of these SCVs. So MaxPax with the double trouble blink stalkers here, trying to dodge tank hits essentially, and succeeding so far. Potentially warping an even more stock, but he's supply blocked. Oh no! Ah, an elementary mistake, but a meaningful one. Was setting it up, but getting supply blocked right as you want to warp in potentially game-changing stalkers is a bit of an uncharacteristic mistake. Honestly, I don't think he expected to be in a position to potentially win off these blink stalkers, but now MaxPax, he has many more stalkers, but Clem has 3 tanks out. And those bunkers well established, so it's going to be a lot harder to get potentially game-ending damage. Well, coming in. The tank is in position there. 3rd Nexus is on the way, so it's not like MaxPax was banking on this being a game-winning attack. And yeah, now the tanks are covering enough of the main, the bunkers, the natural. That should be the end of it. Will stay on the front doorstep. Make sure to make it very uncomfortable to move out anywhere on the map. But Clem will be allowed to make it to at least Stim Combat Shield +1. A whole heap and helping more gates. 7 more gates. He is going for a 10-gate timing. And by that, it's not really a timing. He's just building 10 gates, all right? It's not a timing just because you say timing. He's still building probes, which indicates he's just going for charge lots. Okay, the timing is as soon as possible. We'll see if he stops building probes once he gets full saturation on these bases, 58 to 60 or so. He does. Okay, so now we can call it a tank. Is that tank walled in? No. No way. Oh my god, how? He's clearly trying to move it out. Just lift it up, Clem. Oh my god. Yeah, the tanks, I guess there's no space? One of us. One of... Wow, that's a creative way of blowing in those tanks. Meanwhile, oh, a Stalker just gets obliterated. So do the mines. Oh. All right. And into the main. Few charge lots and a prism, but Clem has plenty back there to defend. All right. The Marines. Sliding along the edge there. MaxPax. His army supply, again, severely outdone by Clem. It's +1 attack for both sides. A whole bunch of charge knots. Clem's army is better, but he has to bring it to bear. And he's not able to do that easily. The 4th Nexus is on the way, but I think MaxPax may have to let that one go. Oh, looks like he wants to come in with the charge lots. Their Widow Mines covering the potential attack. And some Zealots in the main base as well. The Nexus is canceled. Back at home, charge lots. And the 3rd, it looks like the main base cleaned up. So Clem will get his 3rd. MaxPax drawing closer on supply here. 28 charge lots. Now building a Colossus. Auto turrets. Raven tried for something. A bunch of charge lots at the 3rd. Essentially just zerging Clem right now. The zerg lots. The zealotlings. Finding a surprising amount of damage. Ghost Academy's on the way. Clem again forced back by MaxPax's incessant counterattacks. Lands the orbital. And Clem, not overcommitting. He may have had an opportunity to get the damage done before the Colossi, before things like Dark Templar, but this time around, Clem is happy enough to sit back on 3 bases. His worker count looking pretty good. The Raven is taken down. Is there a Warp Prism? The Warp Prism is still on the... Oh, no. Well, that was quite an interesting timing to find it. Thankfully, it still had enough HP. Actually, I don't know if that's a good thing necessarily. It's a bit of a liability. MaxPax has only had 60 probes. He's intentionally kept that probe count low, focused on getting as much army supply as possible, but Clem still has more. And his army, he's got the tanks, he's got the medevacs. Force field, arguably good, but the charge lot's getting stuck behind as well. Quite a funnel here. Having a tough time slicing through. There's no armory, so the Widowmons are taken out. Ghosts are out. MaxPax still. He's 30 army supply behind. Widowmines blunt the force of the attack at the front as well. And I love it. Thank you, Clem. Vikings on patrol. One of my largest of many pet peeves, but definitely in the top 10, is Terran players who don't even patrol a Viking. The Warp Prism is over 50% of the time the way Terrans are undone in the later game. The charge lots in the wrong place at the very wrong time usually end up tilting the scales, as they already have in this series. But patrolling the Vikings, as he has a couple to spare, and making sure a Warp Prism gonna have a real tough time while he holds the line back at home. 1-1 done for MaxPax, but the unit composition heavily favors Clem here. The army just isn't there. An Immortal targeted down, caught between a rock and a hard place. 3 more racks on the way. And MaxPax gonna try to take a 5th Nexus. The economy is about even. 2-1 starts for Clem. MaxPax has nothing more complex than a Colossus now in his army. He's starting to throw some DTs in. But Clem has now built the mid to late game Terran army. He's got the Ghosts, he's got the Vikings, he's got plenty of medevacs and a whole bunch of tanks as well. On top of course, a significant bio army. So, the Vikings, the fadeaway. It looks like he pulled the Vikings away from the area where the Warp Prism would head in. And the turret isn't quite in position. And Clem, what have you done? Oh, here comes the Viking. Just in time? No. A DT is warped in as well. And now Clem has to pull this entire army back because of that one Warp Prism. MaxPax trying to find an angle. Only 2 Colossi here. Great swipes onto the Marines, but MaxPax keeps him busy in the main with the Prism. The Vikings being targeted down, but loses enough of the army. A Disruptor shows up, fires a shot. Clem dodges back, eats a small hit. Could have been much worse. MaxPax just didn't have enough to carve through the front lines. EMP, and was that an Observer? Either way. Tanks on the high ground. A single Colossus is not going to be enough to hold the line. He needs the Ruptors. MaxPax is bleeding out units. The Disruptor is dodged. The main base fully cleaned up. MaxPax, how many gates? 10 gates, 2 robos. Clem has 8 barracks, 2 starports, and a factory. He is doing quite well for himself at the moment. SCVs getting caught, transferring to a 4th. MaxPax is fighting with an army composition that really more relies on having more army supply, but Clem, he's down a single upgrade, which is more than made up for by the strength of his composition. The charge lot's looking for an opportunity, more of them into the 4th base mineral line before a planetary here. 5 SCVs down. Ghost is taken out. The charge lots have to dodge their own Disruptor hit. And now Clem, well, 3 Colossi is not to be scoffed at. The Vikings, well, the Danish player, of course, knows the value of Vikings in large numbers. Ship weapons level 1 is complete. Those Vikings just got a little bit harder to beat. EMP softens up all the Stalkers. Shield battery overcharged, tries to counteract. Vikings knock down a Colossus. Targeting another one, Disruptor shot, not even close. Charge lots looking at the tank, slice it up, but will be taken down in turn. Disruptor, a single Marine. MaxPax, he just doesn't have the army composition to deal with this. Another Ruptor shot. The supplies are not enough. Clem holds the line, and he strikes back. Not nearly enough to stop him. This time around, Clem is able to get the momentum and hold on to it. MaxPax, it did look like he was struggling to find the army. He never really had a huge advantage, but Clem, just playing a patient game, letting MaxPax expend all those charge lots before. Honestly, they never really did a decisive attack. He just ground him down until MaxPax was forced to tap it out. The starting of a reverse sweep. It's 2-1 MaxPax, but Clem is on the board. Oh, heckity. Map 4. I think the Blink Stalkers. I think the supply block where the Blink Stalkers. He clearly wanted to warp in. Little details like that. But he clearly wanted to warp in more stalkers, but was unable to do so. And those little details of the logistics back at home are the things that are not as obvious, I mean clearly, but can decide the feeling of an entire match. And from there, MaxPax just kind of poking and prodding, but never able to do the critical damage that he's been relying on to keep Clem at bay. Constantly backstabbing the SCVs, cutting down on the bases, and just generally limiting Clem's ability to bring his army to bear. But he's not able to do it, and Clem just becomes too big to fail. Stargate. You know what? I'm gonna lift my Blink Robo Pass just for MaxPax. I think MaxPax gets the value out of Stargate. Most other players, it feels like a gamble, but MaxPax is able to use it well enough to justify it. And it does have a lot more potential than just the Blink Stalkers. As obviously, Oracles can fly, and Revelation has a ton of utility as well. The Adept gets into the main. It's gonna be Phoenix first as well. How did you get in here? Who did you bribe? And now the Adept... Yeah, this was not... Sometimes you'll let the Adept in if you're confident you can kill it, but the Reaper has to come back. And he gets a full scout. Which, with Phoenix is on the way. Yes, there is a potential for Widow Mines here. But that's actually a big win for MaxPax to start things off here. He does only get one SCV, but again, drawing everything off the map and getting a full scout. He's able to pick up the Hellion, will knock it down with the second Phoenix. I'm interested to see where MaxPax goes after the Phoenix. It's usually what you feel. And he's already got a Robo on the way. Is this straight to Robo Colossus? Or is the Robo just to be safe and get your detection? Because no Twilight at all. Oh, wow. Robo Bay Rush. Immediately after. So it's going to be Mech Toss. Essentially skipping gateway production. He's going to have 2 gates total. But in favor of getting Phoenix and Colossi, which on paper are your strongest army composition. They cover everything. But we don't play on paper, believe it or not. Digital or otherwise. Contrary to the YouTube comments belief. You know who you are. Missile turrets on the way. Realizing, oh, the Reaper. Oh. It goes a little bit higher than it bargained for. Starport. Gonna be lifted over. 3rd barracks. Onto a tech lab. Stim, combat shield. Clem's still gonna be going for the 3 racks with medevacs. I'm sure suspecting the Robo Bay behind, but not really anything you can do about it at this stage. He's fighting the Marines, and I think he has enough energy. Yeah. Doesn't end up losing too much. Unfortunately, can't repair the Phoenix, but... And... Oh my god! I didn't even see that mine. MaxPax, he spotted it with the Observer. Clem hiding it in the obvious hiding spot, but still, even though it's obvious, well, there's a reason that hiding it behind the refinery there is so common. Almost impossible to spot. But MaxPax sees the outline. Does he see the outline now, though? Uh-oh. Oh my god. I can't tell if he saw it or if he's just getting incredibly lucky. That was like... It was trying to lock on. MaxPax kept juggling it slightly out of range. I have to assume he realized. Because that was just perfect. Already, third base, 64 probes. MaxPax comfortably getting Colossi before Clem can even think about moving out. It's just been perfect micro yet again, reminding me of Game 1 with the Blink Stalkers. Phoenix is serving a very similar purpose of kind of curtailing the Terran for as long as possible until you pull back to join up with your main army. Colossi, extended thermal lance, not quite done yet. That's going to be a very important one against this army. There is an observer over to the left. I don't think it's going to spot it. The main drop. Now it just goes for the Spylon on the edge here. There should actually be enough Phoenixes to just lift. Yeah, he just lifts most of the Marine. Well, a bit awkward. Doesn't quite nail it, but gets there most of it. Widowmine drop at the third. Actually, no detection here. Gonna come back in. A scan. Here come the Phoenixes. The Bio Army into the natural. Clem, pretty desperate to do damage, it feels like, but the Phoenixes will clean that up as well. The Widowmine's still dangerous, but well, he needs detection. The Widowmines will keep him at bay for now. But MaxPax is just... yeah, and the medevac left behind. MaxPax is cleaning this up. Clem just doesn't really have anything. Feels like Clem is almost all in already. He does have a third command center, but the Phoenixes have kept such control of the situation. What a masterclass. Now, of course, there's still the danger. 2-3 Widowmines could obliterate all the Phoenixes. Or at least to the point where they can't really be used anymore. Of course, they can also draw the mine. The Phoenixes can draw the mines into the Terran army as well. There should be an observer. He spots that over there. Vikings out. Gonna clean up one of the mines, though a bit of an awkward scenario. A scan. But Clem does not have the army supply lead that he did in most of the games in this series. Juggling over the top, but the Warp Prism will spot it. The drop, does he go for the recall? Does he even need to bother? +1 attack on both sides. The Phoenixes don't have upgrades, they just have numbers. And MaxPax kind of floundering a bit, doesn't recall. The fourth base, charge lots at the natural. But Clem definitely finding some real value here. And there's no splash damage to slow this down. He is going to take more than a few pounds of flesh on the way out. Picks him up with the Phoenixes, chases the rest down. The army struggling to come together. Microing back the Marauders, minimizing his losses is Clem. And, God, the amount of value he's able to get out of M-based units. Marines, Marauders, Medevacs, Mines, but MaxPax has been doing a meticulous job of dismantling the mines. And now a War Prism into the main. Widowmine, EMP. But the Viking count is quite high here. The Archons will absorb the Widowmine hits. The Medevacs working overtime to keep these units intact. The main base is getting cut up right now. But the main army... oh, there's almost no anti-air. The Vikings may be able to knock down a cold. Barely recalls it out. But the charge lots in the main. The Warp Prism. There is no recall. He's going to chase down the Prism. Beautiful Viking micro. Knocks it down. And MaxPax. He tried to close it out. But he actually didn't kill that many SCVs. You got to be careful. He loses a ghost in the main. Vikings on deck here. Oh, may lose another... wait, where are you going? Clem, where are you going? Where are you going? You just kind of walked away? Well, the charge lot sliced up even more. So what should have been a relatively painless cleanup ends up being a lot less so, as Clem ends up losing a lot more units right near the end of things. There's at least a ghost, a couple Vikings to charge lots. So not the clear victory he was hoping for, but MaxPax definitely hurting when it comes to closing out the game. Just not quite able to find that engagement. Now we got... there were even Archons, but the key part is he got all the Colossi out. he doesn't have to spend hundreds of gas rebuilding all of his splash damage. So, despite not quite finding a killing blow, he still has the core of his army. 4 Colossi are more than enough to take out anything without Viking support. And even with Vikings, it's going to be a difficult effort. +2 ground weapons, nearly complete. A brave... Oh my god, he hid the Widow Mine with the Marine. And now the War Prism. Oh, what a devious yet effective tactic. A single Viking. If he had 2 Marines, he might have been able to close it out. Oh, the Viking almost close enough there. The army supplies are pretty close, but +2 versus 1-1. The Colossi are spotted. Clem repositioning. Widow Mines are dotting the edges of the third. MaxPax is maxed out. It's time to pack his bags and go straight for Clem. 4 Colossi. The Vikings really need to cut that count down, or Clem gonna really struggle. 2 Ruptors at a time. Charge lots into the third. Clem will be forced to split off some of his units. 1 Colossus nearly take it out. That's not gonna be enough. Microing back, not target firing the hurt Colossus. The Bio Army, well, some of the Colossi getting distracted by SCVs. Not an ideal situation. So many of the Colossi eating damage, but not quite dying. Finally going down, but that one, it's just, ugh! It's just, oh god, that was such a tough fight. MaxPax kind of floundering himself. The Colossi distracted by essentially everything. The largest squirrel in the Protoss army. But just unable to concentrate the firepower of the Vikings. MaxPax holds the line, and in a intense, difficult, yet decisive series, MaxPax 3 to Clem's 1. Wow. MaxPax not making it look easy. Yeah, I won't say that looked easy, but he clearly got the better of Clem today. His micro near the Blink Stalkers and the Phoenixes, which are 2 of the hardest units in the game to micro effectively. Like, in a vacuum, any Diamond player can micro them, but can you do it and control anything else? That's the hard part. And MaxPax does it so well. These 2 have made each other so good at this matchup. It's ridiculous. It's unfair to everyone else. Well, with that said, go watch the NA Grand Finals of the same matchup. Thank you guys for watching. I hope I made your day a little bit better. If you got the means of motivation, it'd be awesome if you check out Patreon, like these awesome people. Otherwise, or YouTube membership as well is great. Otherwise, like and subscribe. Jimmy, 1203 likes and subscribe. Well, if we could get 1,200 subscribers in this video, that'd be amazing. I'll stop ranting. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Good luck, have fun. Make sure autoplay's on the right video. Or click on it, recommended. That works great. Anyway, stay chill. See you next time.